Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. In today's video, we're going to be talking about today's eventful training camp. It had to be cut short because of fighting. So, we're going to talk about what a quote I really loved from CeeDee Lamb about his perspective on Dallas and what Brian Schottenheimer had basically said. And then, I'm going to give my take on camp, what I saw from the clips and things of that nature. So, before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Practice went well from the clips in which I saw. I saw Joe Milton slinging it to Trayshawn Holden, and if Trayshawn Holden and some of these backup wide receivers are going to do their job and do it correctly, we're going to have a hell of a... When it's time to cut players before the start of the season, it's going to be really hard to get down to some of these numbers. And I felt the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to make a lot of tough decisions. And I think this is going to be one of their toughest decisions that they're going to have to make this camp. And I think not only to go with the players that might get cut, I also do feel like this is probably going to be one of the most eventful preseasons that quite some time. I haven't been super excited about a training camp, or not training camp, but since a preseason game in almost 10 years, and that was Dak Prescott's first preseason game. That was like that was cool to watch, but I think we're going to have similar type of excitement watching these guys play. When we see Joe Milton slinging it to some of these guys, I think it's going to be fun to watch in the preseason. I love what our twos have been doing. Dak has been connecting to CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens in the red zone, working on the red area, which I really appreciate. I really like. Miles Sanders has some clips today. I'm trying to think about who else I saw. Kyle Elam keeps consistently making plays on the defensive side of the football, taking the ball away. We're really going to need him to do that throughout the duration of the season. But yeah, no, man. that's pretty much practice. I mean, there wasn't really too much to really talk about, but there was a quote that C. Lamb had, and you know, coach had a message to the team after cussing them out and after the fighting. The one thing I just from the level in which I played football at, you fighting gets you nowhere. And a lot of times that the people are doing the most of the players that are doing the fighting or the players that probably A are never going to see the field or two players are going to get cut. And especially I see that especially now at the end, not now, but I've always seen that in the NFL. The most players that are getting into the most fights most of the time with this Dallas Cowboy regime. I can't speak for Jason Garrett because Des Bryant will fight everybody, but we knew Des Bryant. We knew what he was going to bring on the field. So, not talking about Des, right? I'm talking about all the other players, especially under the Mike McCarthy and the Brian Schottenheimer regime. All the players that are fighting, y'all asses are getting cut. Y'all are not doing yourselves any favors fighting nobody. And it's super annoying when coach or when we're trying to get through these drills and we're trying to get something done and productive during these team drills and y'all want to fuck around and y'all want to hit each other upside the head because two things, it's dumb fighting. If you ain't in the UFC and somebody ain't disrespecting you on the street, why are you fighting? Especially when you're in full pads. Not in full pads, but why you find somebody with a helmet on? Cause now if you're a player that we might need you, if you're a role player getting into a fight and you break your hand over a dumbass little skirmish because somebody looked at you wrong, what was that for? And then now the team hurt. Now the team is hurt. Now you're costing my money. You messing up the money by effing around. So I love that Brian Schottenheimer had their asses run. In my opinion, that's how I grew up, man. You fuck around, you gonna get disciplined some way or another, and I appreciate that. But one thing I did like that, but what CeeDee Lamb had relayed from that message was, do we want to be champions? And as a fan base, hell yeah, we won a Super Bowl. We've been eager for a Super Bowl. We're one of the most eager fan bases out here that haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time. Us, the Niners, Raiders. We're just talking about NFL strictly. Packers. It's been a long time. Steelers. It's been a long time since we won a Super Bowl. So hell yeah, we want to be champions. You know what I mean? But it was this next bar for me that really stuck with me, that made me reminisce through all the BS we've been experiencing since the 2000s, right? It says, after that quote of do we want to be champions, this is CeeDee Lamb's take on the Dallas Cowboys. Because throughout the years of us being here, talent was never the problem for us and has never have been the problem. It's never been a problem for us. You look at '07 having 13, 14 Pro Bowlers. You look at us in 2021 when everyone likes to throw up that graphic, but that was a fucking undisciplined team. You had a 10, 11 plus sack unanimous defensive rookie of the year in Micah Parsons. You had a 4,000-yard passer. You had two 1,000-yard receivers. You had a 1,000-yard back. You had 11 takeaway interception leader in Trayvon Diggs, and you didn't get a playoff win. Now again, there's a lot more context to that situation, but talent has never been a problem in Dallas. It has always been discipline. That's all it's ever been for us. It's never been about getting to the moment. We're never disciplined for when the moment arises when we need to step up. Is that we're never disciplined. It's always we're letting somebody beat us inside when we know we got outside help. It's always the small minute details that we always F around and we find out in these playoff games is that we just do dumb stuff. There's so many times when we're having slow starts to playoff games and we're having to scratch and claw to get back into a game, and Aaron Rodgers throws a fucking hell of a pass, the best pass of ever in his career to beat us. We're undisciplined, and that has been our biggest problem since Jimmy Johnson. That's what everyone talks about Tom Landry and the prior Super Bowl winning coaches that we had here, because we were a disciplined football team when those guys were here. We were super disciplined. And I love that it's a point of emphasis to limit the distractions and limit the F-ups, man. If you limit that, we will be just fine. Everything in this NFL will figure itself out. Yes, you have to stay healthy. You have to get the right matchups. You have to be playing football at the right time. All of that matters. But all of that does not matter if you're not disciplined when the time arises. So yeah, man, that's about it for the video. We talked about camp for very little. There was a lot of great things to pull from it from today. We wish it was a little bit of a longer camp, but that's what happens when you F around and you find out. People thought that Brian Schottenheimer wasn't. People thought he was playing around, and then because I forgot the exact date, but it was earlier sometime this week or sometime last week. He had said, "Hey, cut it out. If I catch you guys fighting again, whoever's fighting, I'm sending y'all home. Whoever throws a punch, I'm sending you home." He sent a Johnny Cornelius out. He sent home, and he had all the asses run. Coach, please keep doing that, man. That's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.